In this video, we'll be taking a look at 5 college basketball games happening on November 27, 2025, and providing you with free team picks and total picks for each one of those games, so 10 picks in total. Welcome back to Cash Out Sports. Let's dive right into it. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe and to click the bell icon to get notified as soon as these videos get released, so that you have more time to plan out your bets. As we provide these videos on a daily basis, I can guarantee that you'll have all the important information that you'll need on these 5 college basketball games after fully watching this video. One more thing before we start, if you would like to gain access to our best exclusive sports picks to take your journey to the next level, then check out our Patreon in the link down below, where we offer our best single picks, parlay picks, and much more. Now let's get started. Vanderbilt versus VCU. Vanderbilt enters this matchup with a simple pattern. They score, then they score more, and if someone wants to keep up, that becomes their problem. They started the season 6-0, cracked the top 25, and reached Atlantis as the highest scoring team in the country at 103 points per game. They crossed the 100 mark in 4 of 6 contests and shot over 50% in 5 of them. Even when they slipped into a sloppy game against Western Kentucky and posted 17 turnovers, more than double their usual average of 7.6, they still walked out with 83 points and a win. The theme is steady. Even when they irritate themselves, they still hit a level most teams need a good night to reach. VCU brings a different script. The Rams held a South Florida team averaging 100 points to 66. They forced poor shots, closed space, and played with the kind of discipline that cuts fast teams down to size. They allow 71.6 points per game, hit 10.8 threes a night, and shoot them at 35.3%. Their offense runs through Lazar Djokovic, a steady anchor on the block, while wings like Jadrian Tracy and Barry Evans move in sync and erase clean looks. On a neutral court in Nassau, this becomes a balanced game, stable scoring against a defense that likes order. Vanderbilt holds the deeper rotation and more reliable scoring track record. Their guards, Duke Miles and Tyler Tanner, run sets with clarity, and players like Devin McLaughlin and Tyler Nickel give them scoring at each level. Books list VCU as the small favorite, about a single point, which turns the pick into a simple question: who wins? Based on 6 games of steady offense and the ability to rise above their own mistakes, the answer leans toward the team that has not dipped below 83 all year. As our first pick for this matchup, the Vanderbilt Commodores to cover the spread is our full game side pick. Oddsmakers pulled this number down into the mid-100s. That looks low when the nation's top scoring team shares the floor with a VCU squad averaging 87.6. The Rams have seen 3 straight unders, but those numbers came from totals posted in the 100s. One of them featured South Florida, who arrived averaging 100 a night. Even in that game, the final score hit 144 and stayed under. Drop the total into the 100s and 30s, and we no longer need a fast game. We only need normal scoring from teams that have shown they hit that mark without strain. Vanderbilt's point totals tell the whole story: 105, 105, 92, 104, 109, and 83. They do not drift into low-scoring games. VCU scores 103, 78, 78, 79, 101, and 78 paint the same picture. They get steady offense inside with Djokovic and stretch the floor with volume threes. Both sides bring multiple double-figure scorers, and both reach the line when the game tightens. This is the second game in 2 days, but each team has shown they can run without losing structure. With the market pushing the total down because of VCU's recent unders, the number now favors the idea that these offenses meet somewhere above it rather than below it. As our second pick for this matchup, over the projected total is our full game total pick. Colorado versus San Francisco. Colorado enters this matchup as an unbeaten group that pushes the pace from the opening tip and keeps the pressure on for 40 minutes. Their style shapes the flow more than any single matchup wrinkle. They play fast, they keep attacking, and they bend games toward chaos. San Francisco arrives on steadier legs. Their results look the same each night because they lean on clean execution and a defense that knows its job. They stay patient, and they do not wander from their structure. Both teams reach this neutral site with their cores intact. Colorado's absences come only from redshirts. San Francisco's lone uncertainty sits with a forward who has carried a questionable tag. When a tight matchup comes down to which group keeps its balance when the first run hits, the steadier structure matters. San Francisco brings that structure and has already shown it holds up in a neutral floor test. As our first pick for this matchup, the San Francisco Dons to cover the spread is our full game side pick. Colorado keeps pulling games into high possession counts. Their scoring climbs, and their opponents follow because they cannot slow the tempo long enough to change the rhythm. San Francisco enters with an offense that shoots clean and moves the ball until it finds the best look. That approach fits well against a pace that creates open floor and early offense. Both teams have trended toward higher totals throughout the season. Each has leaned in that direction often enough that the pattern now feels like part of their identity rather than a short run of results. Drop that profile into a neutral site, remove Colorado's usual altitude edge, and you get a setting where the game stays loose and both sides reach comfortable scoring zones. A close finish adds late fouls and short possessions, which push totals even higher. With the current mid-150-something line, the matchup points in one direction. As our second pick for this matchup, over the projected total is our full game total pick. Florida versus TCU. Florida steps into this one with the kind of profile that makes oddsmakers lean hard in one direction. They enter as the ranked team, the recent champion, and the side that books expect to control the pace and the scoreboard. They also carry a reputation for swallowing the glass. Their early season rebounding numbers look unreal, and any team that wins that many extra possessions tends to draw heavy chalk. Yet the spread sits in that two-touchdown neighborhood for a reason that goes beyond Florida's muscle. The market trusts their aura as much as their output. That trust creates a price that feels inflated on a neutral floor. TCU does not bring the same flash, but they bring steadiness. They cover spreads. They stay inside numbers. They play with balance even after losing a starting big to injury. They already pushed a strong Michigan roster into a tight finish as a sizable underdog, and that game showed they will not fade when they run into a harder punch. Florida will likely win the rebounding count, but their record against the number tells a quieter story. They win games, but they do not clear big spreads with ease, and they already missed covers in lopsided matchups this season. When a team that wins often fails to cover often, it signals a market that overvalues the public side. On a neutral floor with the pressure of a national ranking on one bench and nothing to lose on the other, this matchup sets up well for the underdog to hang around deep into the second half. As our first pick for this matchup, the TCU Horned Frogs to cover the spread is our full game side pick. The total sits in that low to mid 150s range, which suggests a shootout. The books expect pace, scoring, and long runs, but the numbers these teams post do not point to a free-flowing game from end to end. Florida scores a lot, but they hold teams down even better. Their opponents struggle to reach the high 60s, and that pattern holds through the first 5 games. TCU follows a similar model. They score enough, but their defense shapes the game. Their scoring margin stays strong because they take away clean looks and force longer possessions. Both teams carry a clear pattern when you stack their results. Fights land under. In fact, most of Florida's games this year ended well below high totals, including several matchups where the posted line pushed into the 100s and 60s and beyond. TCU trends the same way. Their defense sets an early tone, and they slow opponents into quieter stretches. The setting matters too. A neutral floor in a holiday tournament often favors slower openings. Different sightlines and a new building can dull rhythm. Add travel and an early tip, and teams tend to lean on structure rather than speed. That theme fits with the way these two already play. They rely on defense and rebounding more than pure tempo. There is also the question mark around Florida's front court depth, with one of their bigs still marked as a game-time decision. Even if he plays, uncertainty shifts rotations and shortens the list of comfortable lineups. When teams adjust on the fly, the pace drops and possessions stretch. Nothing here points toward a full sprint. The evidence points toward a game that leans on control, patience, and defense more than quick triggers and fireworks. As our second pick for this matchup, under the projected total is our full game total pick. North Carolina versus Michigan State. North Carolina and Michigan State reached this matchup with the same spotless record, but the journey each team took to get here could not look more different. North Carolina arrived with a fresh build, almost like someone hit reset over the summer and swapped out most of the moving parts. The pieces fit, but they are still learning each other. They have a new lineup with size, energy, and the kind of talent that draws attention on sight. Their roster overhaul brought in new faces who now carry big roles, and the group leans on its length, rim presence, and a steady flow of front court touches. The early results look strong, yet the system is still new enough that you can see them think through possessions. Michigan State brings the opposite approach. They kept the same core, the same habits, and the same voice that shaped last season's late push. Their main rotation came back stronger, more polished, and more sure of how each possession should play out. They control games through simple ideas, rebound the ball, defend in the gaps, and execute without shortcuts. That mindset traveled well to this floor, where they beat a ranked Kentucky team and then rolled through East Carolina by double digits. A neutral site should level the environment, but the Spartans already treated this building like home and did not blink once. The line sits short, almost daring you to pick which identity holds firm under pressure. I trust the team that already proved it against top competition and stayed steady from tip to buzzer. As our first pick for this matchup, the Michigan State Spartans to cover the spread is our full game side pick. Now we turn to the total, which the market set in the low 100s and 50s. At first glance, that number hints at a fast game with plenty of possessions. North Carolina scores often and looks comfortable pushing the pace. It is easy to see their recent point totals and imagine another open floor sprint. But when you look longer, the picture shifts. Both teams have leaned under so far this season. Both prefer to control the glass, make opponents work for clean looks, and limit empty possessions. Michigan State wins with structure. They use strong positioning, clean rotations, and physical rim protection to squeeze space. Their scoring runs come from discipline rather than tempo. North Carolina's defense also holds steady. Their new length has kept opponents from getting comfortable. They force longer possessions and stop second chance points through active rebounding. Add in the absence of their veteran guard, which reduces experienced backcourt depth and pushes them into a more front-court-driven rhythm, and you get a matchup where neither team wants a frantic race. This setup favors long possessions, contested cuts, and fewer easy transition chances. It does not guarantee a low-scoring game, but it points toward a slower pulse than the total number suggests. A 1-75 outcome feels more likely than a run-and-gun shootout. As our second pick for this matchup, under the projected total is our full game total pick. Washington versus Nevada. Washington walks into this matchup with plenty of firepower, but also with a rotation stretched thin. They want to run, crash the boards, and live at the free throw line. That approach works when legs stay fresh. It also asks a lot from a group that has spent the past week patching together practices with limited bodies. When a team leans on pace and contact, but lacks depth, the edges start to show. You see it in rebounding lapses, slower closeouts, and long stretches where the offense settles rather than attacks. Nevada brings a roster built around new faces who play hard and enjoy leaning on opponents. Their press sets a steady tone instead of forcing chaos, and that wears on teams that already manage injuries. Washington's style can overwhelm weaker groups, but Nevada has the personnel to stay in front, rotate, and make every possession feel like a small chore. In a neutral site setting where runs carry less crowd momentum, a steady team that brings energy from its bench tends to settle in first. That balance gives Nevada an edge in hanging tight from start to finish. As our first pick for this matchup, the Nevada Wolfpack to cover the spread is our full game side pick. The total sits high, and at first glance it dares you to expect a shootout. Both teams score plenty, and their season averages push the number upward. But the way they reach those totals tells a different story. Washington leans on free throws and second chance points rather than clean perimeter shooting. Their offense often slows into half-court sets that look busy but drain the clock. Nevada wants to pressure the ball but still stay organized. That kind of defensive plan forces long possessions, late drives, and shots that come after a full sequence rather than early in the clock. The mix of physical play and limited depth can invite whistles, which stop the game and drain rhythm. Neutral courts also take time to adjust to, and teams tend to start slower when they face new sight lines. A number this high needs long stretches of fluid play to reach it, and this matchup offers a pace that drifts toward control rather than speed. The most likely script lands short of the posted mark. As our second pick for this matchup, under the projected total is our full game total pick. That's all for now, so if you have any other games you would like reviewed, then leave a comment down below with the game you would like analyzed, subscribe to our channel, leave a like on this video, and we'll get to it as soon as we possibly can. We would also love to hear your opinion on the picks presented to you in this video, whether you agree or disagree with them, so leave a comment down below and do let us know.